Hey everybody, it's Debbie.meighan with Washington Fine Properties, and welcome to another edition of What Does It Cost? Today we are talking about pasture preparation and maintenance. If you recall, a few videos ago I did a soil test, and this video is about what do we do with the results and how much does it cost to do it. So first we have to understand that soil testing is a chemical way of testing for the nutrients that are in your soil that a plant might need. So one of the things that they test for immediately is the acidity level or base level of your soil and what to do with those results. So if your soil tests at a level of acidity of below 6.6, that is considered an acidic soil. Between 6.4 and 7.3, it would be considered neutral, and above the 7.3 or 7.4, it would be considered a basic soil. So we had to amend our soil with lime in order to take our acidic soil and bring it up to a more neutral. And the soil test results will have recommendations as to how much lime to put on your property. And that is done in terms of how many pounds per acre. So there's a couple of ways that you can go about having lime put on your property. You can have it spread by a company. Our local Southern States Farm Cooperative will do lime distribution and put it down for you. The drawback to that is that you generally have to wait quite a while for them to get to you on their schedule. So what we ended up opting for, even though that was not very expensive, one of the things that we did was we actually went on down to our Tractor Supply store and got a cone spreader and bought pallets of lime and basically put it out ourselves. Now that does take time, but it was the most cost-efficient way to bring that acidity level up to where we needed it to be. The next thing that the soil test results are going to give you are the nutrient levels for nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Again, there'll be a recommendation for the amount of this fertilizer to put onto your property. And it will also be in terms of pounds per acre. And again, this is the same as with the lime. You can either choose to do it yourself, and it may be even efficient to do the lime and the fertilizer together in the same cone so that it spreads more evenly. We've done that in the past, and we've actually even put grass seed, pasture mix seed in with that as well and get it all done in one step. So, or you can hire it out. There are companies that will come in and do fertilization and overseeding of your pastures as well. Just remember, your results are only going to be as good as the samples that you take. So remember to go back and watch that soil testing video again before you send in your samples to be tested. Maintaining your pastures on a regular basis in the long run will save you a lot of money. One of the things that you want to consider doing is that, get a spreader for your tractor so that you can drag the, manure and break it up and not leave it in random piles all over the place. That will help it break down sooner and spread the nutrients out. It'll also create a healthier environment for your horses. Another thing you can do for pasture maintenance that a lot of horse owners are opposed to doing because it is kind of a pain in the rear end is rotating your pastures and letting your pastures rest. So that means either dividing them what I suggested in the fence video with electric tape, or just maybe flip horses into one pasture for a few weeks and let the other one rest. You can take that time to either fertilize or lime it. It's a really good idea. It helps keep your pasture really green, helps keeping it from getting overgrazed, but it is a little bit of an inconvenience. The other things that we should really talk about when we're talking about pasture maintenance is kind of when do you want to seed and fertilize? We generally they say that you can seed either in the fall or in the early spring. It's been my personal experience that seeding in the fall is the best time because if you do it in the early spring, a lot of times it gets dry and those little seedlings just kind of dry up and they don't make it. So I really think that doing that in the fall is the best time to go about doing it. And you know, seed is not cheap, and this is not a quick fix. This is something that takes place and happens over, you know, several seasons. So you really have to be in it for the long haul and be committed to the process. For the first few years of putting together the pastures at my farm, it took a good consistent 3 or 4 years to really get fantastic grass with very few weeds. The last thing I want to talk about in terms of pasture maintenance is maybe considering installing a dry lot or a sacrifice lot on your farm. A dry lot is basically what it sounds like. It is a little paddock that does not have grass. A lot of people will just have like bluestone or maybe even some type of mulch. It is a place where you can put horses when the weather is bad, and it will really protect your pastures. And I think even though there is an expense involved with installing a dry lot, the cost that you save, the savings that you get by, you know, really saving your bigger fields from getting all torn up when the weather's wet or snowy will pay off in the long run. As always, I love hearing from you. So I'd love to hear any comments that you have, or if you have something that maybe I missed, I'd love to hear from you.